Hello everyone, and a very happy Victober to you. I hope it's going very well. I am back with another video all about Charlotte Mary Yonge. And in this video that I have been wanting to do for a while, and I hope I've kind of organized it in a way that will make sense to readers who are interested in exploring more of her works. So she has several kinds of books that she wrote. She wrote historical fiction. She has a lot of nonfiction that she also wrote, and then also novels of family life. So it's very much you're following the day-to-day happenings within the family, the tragedies, the very exciting things that happen, and you are just with them for a season of their life. This is, I would say, probably her most popular kind of writing amongst fans, although there are some of her historical books I have very much enjoyed. So some of these novels of family life are standalones and some of them are interconnected. I love the idea of over the decades of her writing that she has this universe of characters that either a character comes over for tea or comes for a longer visit, or in some cases, certain characters marry each other and have children. And so much, just as Anthony Trollope has his Barsetshire series, and then some of those characters you get to see again in the Pallisers, vice versa, Charlotte Mary Yonge has her own universe. So I thought I would talk about the interconnected novels, and if you're really wanting to go about it in a strategic manner, I could tell you the proper reading order, and then also tell you the books that are standalones. It's been very fun to kind of discover this about her writing as I've gone along. The very first book I read by her is The Heir of Redclyffe, and The Heir of Redclyffe is a standalone. So the first time that I kind of got wind of the fact that she would have characters from certain books making cameos or being characters in other books was after I read The Daisy Chain, and it has a sequel called The Trial. So I thought, well, that's interesting. You know, here's this book, The Trial. And then later on, I heard about her very big, almost 1,000 page family saga called The Pillars of the House. And I read that with a group of friends. And after finishing that, through some online researching that I had done, I saw, oh, well, you know, here is another family saga, two sides, hold on, what is it? Scenes and characters, and then two sides of the shield, that's the Mohunes. And then in a book called The Long Vacation, characters from Scenes and Characters and Two Sides of the Shield and Pillars of the House all meet together and are in a book in there. And so I talked to my friends, you know, would you be interested in reading this? And I actually still have not completed The Long Vacation. So hopefully at some point I will. But it just seemed very interesting to me that she would have this in her writing. And it's something that I think feels very playful and imaginative. And I just love that she did it as an author. So I wanted to talk about the books that are interconnected and then the books that are standalones. And there is information out there about which books are connected, but there's often spoilers in it. So I thought this could be a resource if you want to know kind of the very proper reading order so you wouldn't miss anything as you're going along. Then I'm going to put that in here, and everything will be in the description box down below. Then if you really wanted to delve deep, Charlotte Mary Yonge friend sent me from a book called A Chaplet of Pearls, not to be confused with her historical fiction novel, in which there are characters that, or there's family trees of how all the characters are related. And so it's kind of confusing how it's organized. So I basically looked at all of the books that were listed in the family trees, and I have them here in a list of 13 for you. And so the very first one is Scenes and Characters, and I have read this one, and this one I enjoyed so-so. I still am very glad I read it because it's Charlotte Mary Yonge. The next one is The Castle Builders. I have not read The Castle Builders, so this is lacking in the chain. I have not gotten to that. Then next is The Daisy Chain, and this is one I want to come back to at some point because there were a lot of things that I did like about it, but then some ways that it was just not a hit with me. But the main character of Ethel has intrigued me enough that it's kind of beckoning back to me, you know, to be with it again. So I did, there were enough things that I liked about it that at some point I will return to the Daisy Chain. Now, one that I did not realize was connected at all, but is Dynevor Terrace, which is a one that I loved so much. This feels very, I would say, adventurous compared to some of her novels of family life. And the character, the cast list is much smaller. So now I'm completely even drawing a blank over who I would have seen in Dynevor Terrace that you see in those other books. But maybe I'll have to consult the chart, the PDF chart. And I really loved it though because of the small cast list. It was very easy to follow along, and you're getting to see these two cousins get to know each other as young adults. They have grown up in different countries, one in Peru and one in England, and then they get to know each other and then have a couple of close friends, and there is some romance involved, and the French Revolution is a big component of the plot, along with travel back to Peru. So all in all, just a really exciting novel to read, and one that I'm very much looking forward to rereading at some point. Next, we have Hopes and Fears. This was a middling Charlotte Mary Yonge for me, and I'm thinking, trying to kind of like racking my brain for who are the characters that are connected in that. But apparently there are connected characters in Hopes and Fears. Then one that I talk about a lot, little gem, and that is the Stokesley Secret. Now I remember maybe the Stokesley Secret, actually, that's what I'm remembering. The Stokesley Secret, those characters haven't met any of the characters from the prior novels, but later on in Pillars of the House, you see them. So number 7 is Countess Kate. And Countess Kate, this is the first time you're encountering those characters. And then book number 8 is The Trial. And The Trial is a direct sequel to The Daisy Chain. Now, I know my friend Elizabeth has read The Trial, and she enjoyed The Trial actually a lot more than The Daisy Chain. And there is a murder trial, hence the title of the novel, and she just said it was very gripping. So at some point I definitely do want to read The Trial. And then we get to number 9, which is Pillars of the House, and this has a bajillion characters in it. And I remember specifically Kate's cameo in that. I was very excited to see her. And then also a couple characters from the Stokesley Secret. As I was I wasn't prepared for them to be in there, but as I'm reading, I'm thinking, wait, is this a character from the Stokesley Secret? And then I did some research. Yes, it is. How fun getting to see them again and see how they're doing. And then we get to, it's kind of a direct sequel to Scenes and Characters. This is book number 10, and that is Two Sides of the Shield. So now, then we get to Beechcroft at Rockstone. I have not read this one yet. And then we get to The Long Vacation. So those characters that you have come to know and love in Pillars of the House, you're going to see them again in The Long Vacation. And then it concludes with Modern Broods, which I have not read. So let's see, I have read 8 out of the 13. So I have read over half, but I would love to, once I've read all of them, kind of look at the web of characters. Now, if you are just starting out with Charlotte Mary Yonge and you think, that sounds kind of overwhelming, having all of that interconnectedness, and you just don't want to commit that much, I do have a list for you of her 12 standalone novels of family life. And several of these I have read, one I have DNF'd, and then the other ones I am really hoping to read. So we have number 1, Abbeychurch. This was a DNF for me, unfortunately. I think it is her first full-length novel, and it definitely has kind of some echoes of her future brilliance to come, but it wasn't drawing me in. And it's hard to, when you've read an author's later works and seen them be very polished and skilled at what they're doing, to then double back. It's like, I just don't know about that. Then number 2 is Henrietta's Wish. This is one I actually started in the spring, and then just because of everything with life, I actually did not finish it, but I was enjoying it. It seemed like it was going to be a middling Charlotte Mary Yonge. I liked the idea of having this young girl as a protagonist, and there were several very charming, endearing children characters. Then The Heir of Redclyffe, and this one is just way, way, way up there for me. I love it so much. It is just a sheer delight to read. It does have some very sad things that happen in it, so you do have to be prepared for that. I think from the readers that I've known that have started with it, it's not always a big hit, so it seems like it can be a hard one to begin with. Then number 4 is Heartsease, and this is a really good one. This is one that one Victober I was not really enjoying much of my reading, and so I thought, you know what, I should try a Charlotte Mary Yonge novel, A Family Life, and Heartsease. I loved it, about a family where the young son is away from home. He falls in love at first sight with this girl, really, and they wait until she has turned 16 and they get married on her 16th birthday. And the whole family, I've heard it compared to Mansfield Park, brings her home to be with his family, and they all have these kind of preconceived notions about her, and she shows them really that she is such an amazing person and so much more strong than they ever knew she could be. It's a really good one. Next is Friarswood Post Office. This one, I don't really recommend it. It was not an enjoyable experience. I don't think I'll ever return to it. And yeah, definitely there's so many other Charlotte Mary Yonge I would recommend. Then number 6, The Young Stepmother. This one, I will sing its praises so much. It's so very good. It's so good. I think this could be a great one to start with. All about a family right in a time when there's been a lot of loss and grief in the family. The house is lonely and lifeless, and then the father in the household, he remarries, and just this new stepmother brings so much life and vivacity to the household. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful story of this family and kind of healing and the new relationships that they form. The next standalone is The Clever Woman of the Family. This is one that really perplexed me because when I love Charlotte Mary Yonge, I love her so much. And then I think I was just so disappointed to not really fall in love with The Clever Woman of the Family. The writing style felt very different to her other books. The characters, it was like I was looking at them through a glass darkly. I didn't feel like I could connect to anyone or really kind of grasp or get a sense of closeness with any of them. But I love the concept of it because it's all of these female characters living at a seaside town. I just love the sound of that. And there were certain things about it that I did like. This is one I do have a physical copy of, the Broadview Press edition. So I am going to return to it at some point. I want to. It's going to happen. Next is My Young Alcides, and this is her retelling of the myth of Hercules. And this is another one that I started, and then just life this year has not really been conducive to tons of physical reading. And I want to come back to it because I did really like what I read of it. Then we have The Three Brides, and I have spoken a lot about The Three Brides. I really just love getting to spend time with those characters and getting to get to know them and see their hopes and their dreams and see the ways that they grow and evolve. It's just an excellent, excellent Charlotte Mary Yonge. Then we have Magnum Bonum, and I know not much about this one. It's one that I definitely want to read because I think I want to read kind of most of her books at some point. Then we have Nuttie's Father, and Nuttie is a little girl. So I like the idea of having a book where there is a child who's the main character. I really enjoy how Charlotte Mary Yonge writes children. And then lastly, we have Chantry House, and I loved Chantry House. This one I think could be fun for if you're wanting to read Charlotte Mary Yonge during Victober because it has a ghost in it, but it's done in a very Charlotte Mary Yonge style. Yes. So I hope that you enjoyed kind of getting to hear more about the interconnected novels, and then also which ones are standalone. And like I said, everything will be in the description. So thank you as always for watching, and I will be back with another video soon. Bye!